Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest of boxing. If you want to become part of the Ego Mafia, Ego Gang, hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, the channel donations, and the Patreon family. It's fight week, September 16th. Need no introduction for this fight, Canelo versus Golovkin. And they did like a Q&A with Golovkin and also Canelo. And the question to Canelo was, what is your definition of a Mexican warrior? Triple G says he likes to fight, quote unquote, Mexican style. But is that something you learned or something you were born with? Canelo responds, when Golovkin or a lot of his fans are referring to Mexican style, it is describing a style in which a fighter is gutsy, come forward aggressively, is throwing power punches just to throw them, and engages in unnecessary exchanges. I would argue that Golovkin's definition of Mexican style isn't completely correct. If you look at all the great Mexican fighters who have become world-renowned, world champions like Salvador Sanchez, Eric Morales, Juan Manuel Marquez, Ricardo Finito Lopez, just to name a few. They weren't the biggest brawlers. They were intelligent with their boxing, were able to outclass their opponents, and knew how to use their bodies to achieve victories. I would argue that a Mexican warrior is one who has heart, passion, and fights with all he has until the very end with intuition and intelligence. A Mexican warrior will not die in the line of fire, but will cunningly be 3 steps ahead of his opponent. No one can teach you to be a warrior. It's something innate that unites all Mexicans. That fire is what propels us to survive and thrive. So, Canelo's setting the record straight on what he believes is Mexican style and the misconceptions. Yo, it's fight week. I'm looking forward to the fight. I will be in Vegas. I'm looking forward to it. Running a little bit behind. Still got some things to do before I leave. But, I mean, I agree with Canelo. I mean, Canelo he's from Guadalajara, Mexico. He's actually Mexican. Golovkin has a Mexican trainer, Mexican-American trainer, Abel Sanchez, but he himself is not Mexican, right? He's from Kazakhstan, right? So, my thing is this, the whole situation is, I agree with Canelo. I really feel like there's a lot of stereotypes in boxing. And it's unfair. It's unfair to say Mexican style because there is no Mexican style, to be honest. Because like Canelo says, he says what fans and Golovkin are defining Mexican style as is gutsy, come forward with aggression, throwing power punches, and engages in unnecessary exchanges, things like that, like an action style. But guess what? Not every Mexican fighter fights like that. Do you all need examples? Miguel Vasquez, who fought Canelo, I think twice. So y'all don't even know who that is, some of y'all, because y'all don't know shit about boxing. But he doesn't fight that definition of Mexican style. He doesn't fight like that. You know what I'm saying? And like the people Canelo referenced, Juan Manuel Marquez, he's an intelligent counterpuncher, right? And Salvador Sanchez, Finito Lopez, all-time great, 50-0-1, I believe is his record. So, I mean, you can't relegate a whole group of fighters and say this is how they fight, because another thing with the whole quote-unquote Mexican style is the inkling is basically that the Mexican style you're just and gutsy, bravado, machista, and macho, rah, but not every fighter fights like that. Now you will find, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of gutsy Mexican fighters that fight with tremendous heart. You know what I mean? We just seen over the weekend a couple of them. Carlos Cuadras versus Juan Francisco El Gallo Estrada. He was one of those both of them, they fought with tremendous heart. I mean, they pushed each other and things like that. But you can't say that one rule fits everyone. It's not like a hat or one size fits all, because it doesn't. Because Victor Ortiz, he's Mexican-American and he's quitting fights. Maidana, he almost got disqualified and arguably quit versus Floyd. Luis Collazo knocked him out. Looked like he could have got back up. You know what I'm saying? So you can't say that one rule applies for everything. You look like, if we're talking about gutsy, you look at Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., because I know some people are going to try to, this is what they try to do. Victor Ortiz, he's Mexican-American. Okay, so use Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. or Chavez Jr. If you really know boxing, Chavez Jr. quit. when he fought from Farah. That was basically a form of quitting. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the reality of the situation. Another fight with Canelo, his last fight, he put up a complete dud. He was talking about, Canelo, you just bully and pick on smaller guys. I'm not a smaller guy. I'm going to knock you out. Yada, yada, yada. And he lost every single round to Canelo for whatever reason. He didn't put up a good fight. So you can't just say everyone is inherent. And like I said, Chavez Sr., he's a great fighter. You know what I mean? A legendary fighter. I love watching old tapes of Chavez just because he has that throwback attitude. You know what I mean? But he quit in the De La Hoya fight, right? So, I mean, it is what it is. You can't say that. And you can say that there's black fighters that have quit. There's fighters from Argentina that have quit. Like Lucas Matisse, to me, he quit versus Victor Postal. So, I mean, you can't group any one group or race or ethnicity or heritage or anything and just say this is what they're about, because it doesn't work like that. But like I said, there are a lot of Mexican fighters that are tough as nails, rugged warriors, and you know what I mean, throw a lot of punches, but you can't say that for everyone. So I hope people just get back to like boxing and stuff like that, because like I said, you can't. Canelo doesn't even fight. If that's the definition of Mexican style, Canelo doesn't really fight like that. He's a counter puncher. He's aggressive. There's different levels. You know what I mean? Some people are just like pure boxers and counter punchers, and then some people are like counter punchers, but they're very aggressive in their counter punching style. You know what I mean? So there's just different types of boxers. And Golovkin, he or whoever came up with the Mexican style, it worked for a while. They garnered fans when he was knocking out Rubio and Wades and Adama and stuff like that. But it just seems like it's kind of run its course with this whole Mexican style thing to me. I seen something where Golovkin was saying that he eats Mexican food every day, and he is Mexican style and it's true Mexican fight. And I don't know. I think that's a touch much. Like, it don't matter what you eat on fight night. And my advice for any fighter, no matter what nationality or what your race or background is, fight your fight. You know what I mean? Fight the style to win. And other thing with that is if we're talking about this Mexican style, when Golovkin fought David Lemieux, he fought with a different game plan, a different MO. And Daniel Jacobs, he fought behind a jab, 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 jab. You know what I mean? So I'm not knocking it. You got to do what you got to do to capture that W, point blank, period. But you can't walk around and say, I'm Mexican style, I'm true Mexican style. And then when you fight someone like Willie Monroe who has 6 knockouts, then you're Mexican style. But then David Lemieux, that would have been a hell of a, like, if you want to have a slugfest with somebody, whew, David Lemieux is the man, because he got cracks. You know what I mean? We see that. But you fought smart. You used your height, you used your reach and your intelligence, fought behind the jab, broke your man down, softened him up like a meat tenderizer. That's what you're supposed to do. So I don't know. I've never really been a big fan of this whole Mexican style term, especially as it applies to Golovkin, because I don't really think he fights Mexican style. Because like I said, depending on if you put him in there with Daniel Gill, yeah, he might come forward relentlessly, but he knows who he can do that with and who it's not beneficial to do that with. So you put him in there with David Lemieux, somebody with 90% knockout ratio or whatever it is, he didn't fight like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my thoughts. I agree with Canelo. I don't agree with this Mexican style. I don't think there's a black style. You know what I mean? You can't really do that. To me, you can't really do that. You could say if you wanted to, it's still a stereotype, but I mean, let's be, like, I guess stereotypical, or by and large, there's a lot of black fighters that are rhythmic and have a certain level of slickness. But once again, that doesn't mean because you're black that's your style and you guarantee have that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything, because James Kirkland is African American, he's black, and he don't fight with no level of slickness. You know what I'm saying? So fighters got to be who they are as fighters, no matter where you're from, what your background is, what your heritage is. Because like I said, for every person you say is a Mexican style or Mexican warrior, I could tell you somebody of that heritage that quit. You know what I'm saying? I just gave you guys some examples, and there are others. Please believe it. You know what I mean? So you can't pick and choose. It's just fighters are fighters. Everybody's human. People get hurt. Some people, like Canelo said, some people have the desire to keep going and push us through. But I guess if you want to stereotype and say by and large, there are a lot of Mexican warriors. That's safe to say. But let me know who you're picking for this fight, and what do you think of this whole Mexican style with Canelo and Golovkin? No doubt, Canelo. I don't know. I don't really know how Golovkin's gonna fight Canelo, to be honest, because he might just think, oh, I'm the bigger man, and try to early put it on Canelo and like overwhelm him. But then he might from the gate try to fight like he fought David Lemieux. Danny Jacobs work behind the jab. Let me know how you think he'll fight. Let me know what you think of this whole Mexican style. But yeah, I mean, it's getting crazy. But we'll see. It's fight week. We'll see what happens. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.